We're in San Francisco, that beautiful city by the bay.
My stop today, a corner table with our guest who shoots a hit TV series here.
He's Cheech Marin, that effortless actor who was first an anti-establishment icon as part of the dope-induced comedy duo of Cheech and Chong. He reinvented himself in films like Tin Cup and Disney's Lion King, and now co-stars with his pal Don Johnson in the San Francisco-based show Nash Bridges.
Look, you have a little success, you get a reputation, you know?
I don't think I can take it anymore.
Really?
Hello, Cheech. Oh, thanks for saying you come to the corner table.
Oh, yeah, the pressure is all mine.
Well, this restaurant pick's a good one, Aqua. It's kind of expensive. Do you have your credit card with you?
Oh, I thought you were gonna...
No, I don't have my credit card. You think we can get Don to pay?
That's a good idea.
Let's eat.
Hey, Danny, thank you. Let's see, what's the most expensive thing?
Caviar.
Oh, good.
Well, Cheech, you brought me to a wonderful restaurant, Aqua.
This is arguably the best restaurant in San
Let's not
Francisco.
argue about it.
There's no argument here.
Lovely to see you again.
Cheers.
And let's see, I've got this creation of this smoked salmon, Peruvian purple potatoes. They're not blue, they're not pink, they're purple. And of course, some creme fraiche and shaved truffles. And you've got
Spotted prawns, stuffed spotted prawns.
With a vinaigrette?
With a vinaigrette, tangy tart sauce.
So this is it. This is a place you come to frequently, right?
Only when I got a lot of bucks.
Well, we know Don's paying,
Or when
so
Don's
we're okay.
paying, we're cool. Donnie, thank you very much.
As long as he doesn't watch the show, you know, we're okay. So working in San Francisco, I mean, people come here and fantasize. They take 3 or 4 days, have a marvelous vacation, go home wishing they could live here. You live and work here now.
I feel like I'm on vacation all the time. I mean, we wake up and we have a house with a view of the Golden Gate Bridge, and we wake up in the morning and laugh every day.
The wife and 3 children.
Wife and 3
around
children
you in
now.
the family.
They're doing well in school. And my wife's career, she's a painter. Patty Hyde is her name. I better get that in.
Look for her at your nearest gallery, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got the best job in the world. I'm on a wonderful TV show with my best buddy Don Johnson. Get paid a lot of money, and dang,
you're a happy man.
Yeah.
And you reinvented yourself, which I'll get to in a second. But what's it like working with Don Johnson? You guys must own this town. I mean, Cheech Marin and Don Johnson shooting at Nash Bridges in San Francisco. Give me an example of something that happens in town.
Oh, well, I like to be humble about it, but
you can't get arrested in this
I'll tell you a story. It happened Thursday night. Okay, President Clinton was in town for a big $25,000 a plate fundraiser, you know? And I'm not political. That's the only reason I wasn't there.
This is true.
That's true.
Any man who went to Canada and put the Jeff card down here is not a political guy.
I'm social, I'm not political.
All right, go ahead.
And so my wife and I went to the annual SPCA dinner. She's involved with the board there, and she does the decorations. And so we go to the SPCA dinner, and there's got a martini bar set up, you know. So we felt we had to sample that, you know.
Well, when in Rome.
Sampled it quite a bit. And so I think when we're leaving the thing, my wife says, hey, so you know Clinton's in town. He's over at the blah, blah, blah's house. I said, why don't we just swing by there? And just
so it was at a private home?
It was at a private home of somebody very famous. And I'll swing by there and just see what's going on. You know, there's protesters, so we swing by there. There's all these protesters going on, and I roll down the window, and the cop comes over, and he goes, oh, Mr. Mayor, right this way. Opens up the barricade. I go, okay, sure. Huh? We drive into the thing. They got the whole street blocked off, and then the next barricade. Oh, hi, Mr. Mayor. Opens up the barricade, and so I'm driving on the street there. And next thing I know, I'm in front of the guy's house, and there's like 50, 100 Secret Service and cops and everything. I said, where do you want me to park? Go right over there, Mr. Mayor, right behind the police car. So I get out of the car, and a woman comes running up, and she goes, oh, Mr. Mayor, could you wait right here? I want to get you an escort in. You know, and we're crashing this party, and we're pretty bombed.
And you've had a few more.
And we had more than a few. And so we get there, and so the woman says, so the door opens up, and all of a sudden we're in the hallway of this stand. There's like more Secret Service guys and cops. And the guy says, oh, Mr. Mayor, and my wife was with her, and she said, could you step right in? Next thing I know, I got my hands above my head, and they're running the beeper over me, and I'm going,
you're cool.
And somewhere in the middle of it, I'm going, what in the hell am I doing? And like,
Cheech made it as far as the door outside the room with the president.
The guy says, well, I'll go get the host. No, that's okay. So I'm trying to get out of there real quick.
Oh, so you had taken it as far as you could. You didn't get to meet the president?
No, because in the other room, and I'm kind of sobering up real quick now.
Because I had the line, if you meet the president.
What did he say?
I inhaled. So you know San Francisco.
So San Francisco, they let me in to see the president.
Hey, listen, I've got one of the reasons that I wanted to have lunch today at the corner table was a lingering question that's been on my mind for at least 15 or 16 years, and it's based on this photo. Here is a photo from your past and my past. This is Midday Live, about 1980. Now, I've been confused, as you can see, from all these years. You're talking to B. Arthur, who's smoking something right on the set of the show, and your partner, Tommy Chong, is looking off into space. What is going on here? Do you have any recollection?
I have no idea.
So this will go into the record books. We don't know what this is about. But let's talk about, for a little while, the Cheech and Chong's days. How would you explain to somebody who only knows you now, say from Nash Bridges or your work in Tin Cup, your Disney work, the children's album, how would you explain to somebody who doesn't know who Cheech and Chong are what this stoned out duo was?
Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Your kids are singing that probably.
Well, you know, it's funny you mention it because I do have kids, and I have a 13-year-old boy who has just been discovering the records. You know, he knows the movies.
Those great comedy albums.
And you know, and it was funny seeing what he responds to.
Yeah.
And he responded to the funny stuff. The stuff he didn't understand, he just didn't understand.
Right.
That was the genius of Cheech and Chong. It had a lot of levels, and you can jump in anywhere you can understand. It was you know, part and parcel of the times. We were the foot soldiers of the Cultural Revolution.
You're a true anti-establishment icon. I mean, you're right out there with Abbie Hoffman, Jerry Rubin, the Black Panthers. You were funny. I mean, at this point, do you have any regrets at all about all the pot stuff and the glamorization of pot?
Only that I didn't save more money from that period.
No regrets?
No, oh, absolutely. That was, we were so benign, really, in our depiction of the scene.
Yeah.
Because I knew the reality. My dad was a cop for 30 years in LAPD, and I knew what and cops, remarkably, were our biggest fans, because we were showing the lighter side of a darker picture. And in doing so, we kind of let a lot of pressure off the scene. So we were kind of these benign, you know, cosmic characters that were just kind of passing through the era.
When you were actually shooting the movies with those huge joints that were like the size of a hoagie roll, what was in them?
Stunt dope. That's a movie stunt dope.
Where do you buy that stuff?
Well, I can't tell you. I'd have to kill you.
But after 15 high-flying years, Cheech and Chong split up over creative differences, and Cheech was unemployed.
So you were literally downsized. Well, you quit the comedy team and got divorced in the same year, and had like probably the most stoned image in show business. I mean, maybe there's a couple musicians out there a little bit further out than you.
Yeah.
You reinvented yourself into a guy who worked for Walt Disney, the Disney company.
Isn't that amazing?
It couldn't have been easy.
Oh, you know, it
couldn't have been easy.
You know, there was a lot of times when you're like a surfer out there with, you know, sitting out there on your board and the sun's beating down you and it's getting cold and there's no waves for a long time. No work, you know.
Bills to pay.
Yeah, the rent didn't stop.
And that's that period of what enabled you to come back then? I mean, there were those who don't come back, you know.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
Mostly there are.
What did you hold on to? What were the lessons that you had there?
Well, my dad, the cop from 30 years, always instilled in me from a very early age the lessons of hard work. And so I kept doing anything that would just keep me afloat, whether it was voiceover in cartoons or playing on a TV or a commercial or anything to keep me out there.
And we're dining at Aqua, an elegant seafood restaurant with Nash Bridges co-star Cheech Marin.
Well, since Don Johnson's paying for our lunch, we've got a pretty good lunch, Cheech.
Not bad so far.
What do we have here?
Today we have a lobster pot pie.
Yes.
This is the lobsters with many vegetables.
I don't see the pot. I don't see the pie crust, but I'll believe you.
Well, the pie's there somewhere, and the pot, who knows?
And Hey. I've got the John Dory with a potato crust, and it looks good.
That is one of the most excellent.
So this is a restaurant you know well.
I've been here many times. I always save this restaurant for when I got a whole bunch of money in and I want to celebrate it.
Well, I'll tell you, let's start by talking a little bit about your wife. You've had a long, successful marriage, 3 children. But I heard that when you met your wife, it was like one of those, as the French say, a coup de foudre, like a bolt of lightning.
Really?
You touched her, boom, and it felt like an electric. Tell us the story.
She was I met Patty, my current wife, and last one.
Current and
last, baby. On the day after my first wife and I decided to finally absolutely get divorced.
The next
day?
You're a man who enjoys relationships.
Baby. And
you know, it didn't even take a week.
You know what? You have to trust yourself at that point. It's like a diamond sorter. You know, I kind of sit there going, yeah. And you see that, ooh, yeah. I just think I'll just slip this one into my pocket. Well, you know, but you got to trust yourself that you recognize something there, and I did. And we've been happily.
What happened when you had a photo taken with her at an art gallery?
You know, she was an
what
artist, and I went to her show, her painting show, and they said, "Oh, you take a picture with Patty," and I was like, "Okay, great." I put my arm around her, it was like grabbing an eel or something. She was like electric, and I went, "Geez!" And everybody was like, you know, my broker is Payne Weber, you know, or whatever that was, and everybody kind of looked at that when that picture went off. It was like the Last Supper, you know, kind of. And we've been together since that moment.
That is a wonderful start. That's a wonderful start, but in any long marriage, you know, you got ups and downs. What's the secret of keeping it together and keeping it happy?
I think when your hearing goes, that helps.
We are having those problems, aren't we, at this point?
What'd you say, honey? I didn't hear you. No, you know, it's, boy, I don't know the secret. But one thing that's worked for us is that we kind of take time out and listen to each other and went, okay, now whatever you say today, I'm just going to listen to it. You know, I'm going to agree
listen to it objectively.
Objectively, or just agree. You know, we have days like that where just I'll agree with anything you say today, and I won't kind of contradict you. And it's kind of like it's an escape valve. You know, they can let off steam.
Take a week off. What do you like to do? You're just at home. What's it like for you when?
Well, you know, I like to play golf.
And you like to smoke cigars.
I like to smoke cigars.
Yeah.
I like to eat, obviously. And I wish I could get my wife to play golf, but that doesn't seem to be in the cards this lifetime.
Maybe that's the reason things are working so well.
It could be. You know,
what got you into the food world, Cheech? Because you have a line of hot
sauces,
right?
Yeah. We just come out with this line of hot sauces called the Cheech. We have 3 different flavors: mango, chipotle, and garlic, and it's doing very, very well.
I know that. How literally involved were you in the formulation of the sauce?
Very much.
Are these your own recipes?
No, not my own recipes, but they came at me with a lot of different kind of recipes, and then we kind of kept working them till they came up to the taste I wanted.
Because are you a cook?
Yeah, yes, actually I am. I was a cook professionally for 3 or 4 years when I lived in Canada.
Where?
In Banff.
Banff,
Canada.
Wow. We were just talking about Banff yesterday as a romantic place to go. Plus, just the word itself.
Banff. Yeah.
So you were a cook in Banff.
In Banff,
you probably
Canada.
saw some very happy honeymoon couples.
Oh, baby, do we? Well, you know, my father taught me, who was in the Navy, and he wasn't a cook in the Navy, but he learned how to cook in the Navy. And so he taught me from a very early age how to make breakfast, you know, like pancakes or
So were you the breakfast cook in Banff?
Well, he was, but I learned from him. And then, so when I went to Canada, I needed a job, and I said, oh, I'm a cook, and I lied, you know, and I didn't know how to fry water at that point, you know.
These days, Cheech does the cooking for his family. His specialty?
I can make a real killer veal saltimbocca.
Oh.
Very good.
Not a simple dish.
Not a simple dish. And I can make it really well. And so whenever I want to impress somebody, I whip that one out.
Where'd you pick that up? A book recipe? Or just
No, I just, you know, go into different restaurants and I go, ooh, what is this?
Another of his specialties is voices. Cheech was a hyena in The Lion King and a chihuahua in Oliver and Company.
How would the chihuahua describe this lobster pot pie? What
He would say something like, man, if this is torture, chain me to the wall.
The chihuahua was mighty cute in there. Now you started as a musician, right?
Yeah, I was a musician all my life. I was a young singer that could sing, you know, like at 5 years old, could sing songs in Spanish. And
we have an acoustic guitar here because I know you love the guitar.
Oh, the guitar.
Yeah. Huh. And does anyone mind if we have a little guitar music?
Good.
You have to ask, after all.
So what would you like to hear?
I would like to hear a classical something, perhaps.
Classical.
Classical.
It's a nice guitar. What kind is it? A Fender. Okay, I'm offended. I'll play a little song that is from my children's album. I have a children's album called My Name is Cheech the School Bus Driver, and he's a Tex-Mex school bus driver, so all the songs are Tex-Mex, and this particular one is being used, it was the #1 children's record of the year it was released.
Excellent, so we're on a school bus.
And we're on a school bus,
and you're the driver.
and I'm the driver, and it goes like this. My name is Cheech and I am a school bus driver. Hello, school bus drivers, who I am. And we go down over hills and down the valleys, on the streets and through the alleys. Here I am in front of your house, whether it be black or white, or purple and green with orange spots. And you have this dog that barks a lot, so he can't even hear when I am there. And I have to sit there forever and ever and ever. So finally I just honk the horn and say, yo, Bobby, the school bus is here. Yodelay-hoo.
Ah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for
good old lounge chords.
Open fire, one guitar, and cinnamon crepe. Woo. That's wonderful.
Oh,
thank you.
Fender, thank you very much for the guitar, too.
Thanks for playing. You're welcome.
Hey.
You actually do have a cinnamon crepe, and I've got, for old time's sake, root beer float. Not that I ever had one that looked anything like this.
This is the epitome of designer root beer floats. It's their own micro-brewed root beer here that they make here at Aqua. And man, is that the bomb or what?
Wow. You want a little on the side here?
No, I'm trying to quit.
Laying off the root beer.
I've had too many.
Cheech, what's the best advice anybody ever gave you?
Get paid in cash.
I got the same advice once. Get paid in cash?
And take your money with you on stage.
Really?
Well,
Did you learn the hard way?
yes, I did. As a matter of fact, don't leave any money in the dressing room.
What happened?
Well, it wasn't there when I got back.
What was the dinner table like in the Marin household when you were 15 years old? The atmosphere around the dinner table.
It was somewhat like my dinner table right now. You know, I think the males in my family have just hit the stubborn streak, and it's really a test of will. So my journey right now is how I mature as a parent is learning how to not fall in the same traps as my father and I did, and not to bang heads. Well, I'm writing this series of radio spots now called Shaving My Father, and the premise being that no matter how much you rail against it all your life, that you're never ever going to be like your parents. You're not going to treat your kids like they treat you. Some point in your life you look in the mirror and realize that you're shaving your father, and his words are marching out of your mouth directed at your kids.
Well, that's not an all bad thing.
No, it's not all bad, but it's very frightening.
But it's frightening, but the thing, I guess, is to evolve. It's really make the shave a better shave.
Yeah,
you know, it's a little smoother.
I remember
not too many
this
nicks
one.
and cuts.
So whenever I feel like banging my kid, I was like, well, okay, I didn't like that as a, and you know, you hopefully you make a little bit of progress, but it's hard, you know. Because they test you every
well,
single
there's
day.
no question, particularly if you've got a couple of teenagers.
Oh, baby.
Right? And literally, I mean, with your background, you can't be too holier than thou.
No.
You must have been doing something right,
you know, it's like, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to.
Well, you know, it's like teenagers think that they're bulletproof.
That's, yeah.
You know, and you just kind of want to encourage them to think that, but discourage them from being foolish. It's a real fine line.
It is. So what's the best you can do to tread that line? Here, I'm giving you this anyway.
Thank you.
What's the best you can do to tread that line?
I think set example at this point. Be consistent with what you say, you know, and don't say anything that you're not ready to back up.
Be consistent. Well, let's suppose we can take your 3 children and put them in, say, solitary confinement or away, doing their own activities.
Groove.
We take you and your wife, the artist, Patty Hyde, anywhere in the world tonight for a dinner, any place that you'd like to be, kind of magically. Where would you like to be with your wife tonight?
Tonight, Paris.
Any special place?
I would probably like to go to Brasserie La Stella in the 16e. When I lived there before, it was my favorite restaurant because they had this brasserie food, you know, and I thought, well, I hope Patty likes it, and I'm going to bring her back there, you know, because I really like to go there. And then after a while, I was like, I wish she would like another restaurant.
You like it too much? Huh?
Yeah, and we still use recipes that they were there at that restaurant.
Yeah, that sounds good. Now, let's go into the future. Suppose, theoretically, we could come back to this table in 10 years. God willing, Nash Bridges is still running. Don Johnson's still doing it.
Hey, you cops, stop!
You're still the sidekick, and I am somehow gumming my way through corner tables. What do you want to say about the 10 years of your life that's passed?
It's probably the finest, most fun-filled, enjoyable, artistically rewarding 10 years of my entire life.
Let's hope that's true. So I'd like to close each of our shows with a toast to our Food Network viewers. You're on. We'll have some Chardonnay. What would you like to say to them?
I'd like to say, may you have long life and good health, and the knowledge to know the difference.
Cheech Marin, you were a pleasure. Good luck, good health
pleasure.
to you and the family. Thank you very much for bringing us to Aqua here in San Francisco.
You can't do better.
You know, somehow I like this better than that root beer float.